this and say, Krista, why don't we just let the voters decide? What do you say to that?
Good morning, everyone. We'll get started in 2 minutes. All right. Well, welcome, everyone. I want to say good morning to each of you. I know that some folks are still coming on, but I want to just say good morning, Antoine Thompson, Greater Washington Region Clean Cities Coalition. Glad that you all can be here with us today. We've got some great folks with us today to share some exciting information about many things that are happening in the region and also across the country as well. We'll have some good updates on the coalition. I just got back from the Clean Fuels Alliance conference, which was in Fort Worth, Texas, and we're really excited about all the things that are happening with the biodiesel or renewable diesel. And one of the big things that I like to see happen is to get more of those uh, biodiesel and renewable diesel at the pumps, at the gas stations in the region. Gas stations are going to probably be around another 20 years or so. And we need to make sure we have more low carbon fuels at the pump. Today we'll also be at a ribbon cutting for Blink Charging is through the MAEP program that we've been working on for a couple years or so. We're doing a ribbon cutting this morning in Frederick County. So we're really excited to be in downtown Frederick this morning. And so I'm going to have to jump off a few minutes early so I can go to that ribbon cutting for a project. But there are a lot of opportunities to expand clean energy and clean transportation all over the region. And our office, we want to continue to be your partner and help get that done. Two other quick things I want to mention to folks. One is that thank you for all of our partners and others that we were able to be on 7 winning grants last month. So that was excellent news. Focusing on everything from EV charging reliability to marketing, outreach, electric school buses. We'll be working on that project with different clean city organizations and WRI. So we're really excited. Many of those projects will kick off in April or May of this year. So we're really excited about those. We are also have a number of other big things coming up within the next few weeks. So one of those things is the Greater Washington Region Clean Cities opening reception, which will take place on February 21st from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Pepco Edison Gallery. So you have to register. It's free, but you must RSVP. The regional president of Pepco will be giving remarks as well. We have a number of elected officials that will be giving some remarks, and we got another VIP, which is waiting for final confirmation on, and hopefully she'll be able to give some remarks as well. So that's February 21st, 6 to 8 p.m. at the Pepco Edison Gallery in Washington, D.C. So make sure you RSVP. That's our kickoff, opening reception. We're going to hear some updates on where we're going. Great networking as well. We'll reflect on some of the great things that we did last year as well. We have a Green Procurement Working Group meeting coming up. It does say February 27th, but we're going to have to reschedule that date because I got to be in Annapolis that day. So we'll move that to either the following day or the following week. So, but we will have it this month. We're also having an accelerating access to EV charging and biofuels at local fueling stations. That will take place on February 26th from 2 to 3 p.m. at the Dorothy Height Library. So, Tom, I really need you to make sure we get that information out on your program, because perhaps we can help some of these local fueling stations convert their, make adjustments to their infrastructure for their fueling stations to be able to offer biodiesel and EV charging, or renewable diesel and EV charging. So that's February 26th, 2 to 3:30 p.m. We'll be sending out notices to a lot of the fueling stations. We want to get some of the green banks and some of the bank and financial institutions, and there's a lot of grants out there to help them offer alternative fuels at their fueling stations. Last two announcements I just want to mention. One is on the Black History Maker event we're having on, this is Black History Month, so that will be on February 28th from 2 to 3:30 p.m. So look forward to that. And then on public EV charging with MAEP, that's on February 29th from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. We do have the Ron Flower Scholarship coming up. So that golf tournament is June 27th. I see my buddy Samantha on there, who came in second last year from Charger Help. So we look forward to you all participating in that great event. Part of the proceeds for the GWRCCC Ron Flowers annual scholarship, some of those proceeds do go to give kids and the students in the region scholarships. So we're really excited about that. One last thing is the Empower Pledge. We want to put that in. All of you, many of you have that's on this call, the Zoom meeting, are putting up EV chargers at your various places. This is a workplace charger program, whether you've already started or you're looking to start. We want everyone to sign the pledge so that your organization and company is part of the record that you're promoting workplace charging as well. So please sign the pledge this week. You can sign it today, or get your manager or building person to say that we are committed to offering workplace charging. You don't have to own the lot. It's just you want to make sure that you're offering it to your workers and employees. So without further ado, I want to get right into it. I'm going to have Tom Hucker give some remarks, and then we'll go right into Laurel Mack-Wilson. So Tom Hucker is a senior consultant from the U.S. Department of Energy Loan Program Office. He's also a former state delegate from Maryland, and also a former county council member from Montgomery County, and a longtime champion for clean energy and clean transportation. And he's going to talk about all this money that they have, that they got to get out on the streets. Billions and billions and billions with a, did I say a B? Billions of dollars. So we want to make sure that DC, Maryland, and Virginia gets its fair share of some of these resources. So Tom, the floor is yours. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Antoine, and thanks to you and everybody on your team at the coalition for all your leadership in this space for a very long time. We all really appreciate your hard work and your guidance in this space, which is complicated and really needs your advocacy and your insights. So yeah, thanks for the introduction. I'm in the loan program office of the Department of Energy. We're and that followed some time in the Maryland General Assembly on the Montgomery County Council as well. So I'm a longtime DC and Maryland resident for many years and very familiar with the DMV and its needs. The loan programs office that you probably hadn't heard of before this is really a remarkable place. We were started in 2005 to be essentially a bank inside the DOE. And we were established to help companies that had a proven technology, not startups, but a proven technology, but they didn't have enough of a track record to get a commercial bank loan, help them commercialize, get to through their first early stage deployments and across the bridge to bankability, we call it, so they could succeed with commercial bank loans in the marketplace without government help. So in 2005, that was Tesla when they were facing bankruptcy. That was GM Electric Vehicles, other big name wind and solar companies that are now household names. But the IRA changed all that. And while we still can finance innovative energy projects like that, it greatly expanded our authority, and it gave us $400 billion, as Antoine mentioned, to get out the door to help stand up and finance the clean energy transition on behalf of states and private enterprise. Congress really expected the government to enable this clean energy transition, but the private sector to really help lead it. And that's where you all, come in as well. The same way that this country built the railroads in the 19th century and the highway system in the 20th century, Congress wanted to take the same sort of public-private approach to driving the clean energy transition in the 21st century. So there's, apologize, I don't have slides to share with you, but I'm happy to send them. And my contact info is in the chat for anybody who wants to follow up. What you need to know is we have all this lending authority from Congress in the IRA, and there's a couple major programs I want you to know about. One is, if any of you are in touch with folks who do any kind of vehicle manufacturing, including components of not just cars and trucks, but anything that moves people or goods at an airport, at a port, any facilities like that, heavy duty trucks as well, there's an expedited loan path for those programs, and I'm happy to help them access our team that specializes in that. But it's good news for all Americans. For example, we just lent $9 billion to a joint partnership of Ford and a Korean EV battery manufacturer, because as we're standing up all these EV systems across the country, it's no good if all the batteries are made in China. So we're starting to make the batteries here at home and putting thousands of Americans to work and building 3 new factories through that partnership in Kentucky and Tennessee. And we should be doing that, in the DMV as well. Second, Congress intended to fund the clean energy transition through the states. There's so many thousands of projects out there. There's no way for Congress to write a law that had a fair test except by involving the states. So what they set up is a project can access our low interest taxpayer subsidized loans if it gets some support from the states and from your state and an eligible state agency, which Congress, because it loves acronyms, called a State Energy Financing Institution, a SEFI. So most of the green banks we've run into are SEFIs, most of the housing authorities, most of the commerce departments, many of the water authorities, all qualify because they're state agencies or authorities set up by the state, and they do grants or loans. And the way our financing works is if you get $1, for example, or $1 million from a state agency or authority that's eligible, you can access up to like $10 million from us in long-term loans at around 5%, Treasury rate plus 3/8. So they're below market loans. They're intended to decarbonize buildings, decarbonize transportation, add electric vehicle, the rolling stock, the storage, the infrastructure, the charging infrastructure, all to buildings and public facilities and private facilities all over the country. So that's all available. I should probably stop there and remind you that my contact info is in the chat. I apologize. I have to jump by 10:30 for another meeting with an applicant, but would love to follow up with any of you on any of your local projects in this area. Thank you.
Tom, can you put your email in the chat so people can grab it if they want to reach you?
I think I did, Antoine. I may have screwed it
Okay.
up, but the email and my cell is in the chat too. So feel free to call or text anytime.
All right. All right. I see it. Thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Good luck, and hopefully you can get someone to your meeting with that money. So
Appreciate it.
take
Thank
care. All right. Thank you. And next we'll go to Laurel Mack-Wilson, who then will be followed by Jimmy Turner. So Laurel, you wanna go, or you want Jimmy to go first?
No, I can go.
Okay, thanks.
Hello, everyone. If you all could pull up my slides for me, please.
Okay, give me one moment.
While she's going, I want to just say a plug to. I see a couple faces on here that I've seen in a minute. Hi, Salima and Samantha. Steve from good to see you. I see you at a big event the other day in Greenbelt. And hello, Todd. I hope all is well. And good to see you all. Let's make sure we take advantage of some of this information that's coming out today.
Do you see the presentation, Jill? It's in the
I
agenda.
do. It's just taking a second to pull up. So, Mr. Thompson, if you could talk a little bit more.
All right. Well, just a couple other things. If you're not a member, if you've not paid your dues this year, please do that. We'll put it in the chat. We are a membership-based organization, so we love to always pushing to get people to pay their dues. We're gonna have a little at our opening reception. There's gonna be some VIPs, and members will be at the VIP reception. So I want you all to know. So we want to make sure that we promote and reward our members as well. We also do a lot of letters of support for different grants and opportunities as well. And we have a weekly inside track on media and funding announcements that go to members only. So if you don't get that every week on Tuesday or Wednesday, that's because you got to become a member. So we do have a lot of things that we do for non-members and the general public, but there are some special things that we do for members as well. Thanks.
Can you all see it?
It's loading for me. It says has started screen sharing.
Okay.
Figuring it out. Can anyone else see her screen? Oh, there it is.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see it. She's got to put it in the
That
slide.
is not my presentation.
Oh, hold on. Let's see here. Mm, I'm sorry.
You see it? It's in the agenda. It's next to my name. There's the
I had it pulled up and then my computer decided to update right before we jumped on, so I'm sorry. And the heading is the monthly stakeholders meeting. I got it. That was it that I had pulled up.
No, mine here. It's GWRCCC EV programs.
Okay.
Just if you can't find it, just
I'll
put up
email it
Jim
to
so we can have Jim go, and then she can go at the end.
Right. Okay. So I'll pull up his first. Can you see?
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay.
yeah.
Live view. Okay. Is Jim available?
Yes. Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're
Can
so
everybody hear me?
welcome.
Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
Okay. All right, very good. So yeah, thank you, Antoine, for having me here today. My name is Jimmy Turner with Prince George's County Office of Transportation within the DPW&T. I'm going to be going over just a few updates on some of the projects that we have been working on here recently regarding our zero emission bus program. So yeah, I'm excited to give you a few updates on some of the things that we have going on here within the county.
Okay. Bear with me. Oh my goodness. I am so
Hit it
sorry.
from the beginning.
Yeah, for some reason I got out of the expanded view and now I'm struggling. I was trying to multitask and I shouldn't have.
There's a button at the top left.
Mm-hmm.
that
I'm gonna
says-
stop sharing, then start it again. Hold on. Okay.
You're right over there to the left. Click try clicking from beginning again,
Okay.
and then just hit. There you go. Okay, great. All right. So first thing I wanted to just kind of give an update on is our FY22 Bus and Bus Facilities Award that we've been working on here. We've got a lot of different projects within this particular federal award that we were a recipient of. One of our plans is to build a microgrid system at our Forestville Transit Depot, which we're in the early stages of getting that project going. Another aspect that we're working on is incorporating on-route charging infrastructure to assist with our battery electric bus program. We've identified a few county-owned sites that we're looking to implement overhead pantograph charging to support our fixed route bus operations. And then with this federal award, we're also looking to bring in an additional 20 battery electric buses for our fixed route transit bus fleet. Just to give some of you kind of an overview on where we're at currently, we do have 12 battery electric buses in revenue service today. And then we do have 4 125 kilowatt DC fast chargers installed at our transit depot in Forestville. So we're very excited about some of the progress that we've made with these projects, and we've got a lot more plans for these next couple of years to get more charging infrastructure on the ground and battery electric buses as well. Next slide, please. So I wanted to give just kind of a quick overview on kind of what our plans are for the microgrid system. And we're going to be deploying our microgrid in phases at our Forestville Transit Depot. So basically what we want to do is we want to design and build a sustainable and a resilient system. And I really can't stress the resiliency factor enough because, we need to make sure that the system is resilient and not 100% reliant on the utility grid. In the event of a major outage, we still, at the end of the day, we have to put service on the street regardless of what happens with the grid. So that's going to be one of our large goals here. Kind of how we're in the planning stages of phase 1 for our microgrid system, but our goal is to build out phase 1 to support a total of 40 battery electric buses, and that does include the 12 battery electric buses that we do have on the ground now at our depot. Phase 2, what we want to do is we want to build out the infrastructure to support an additional 34 battery electric buses, and then going into phase 3, build out the infrastructure to support an additional 31. So what's the end goal here? Build a resilient and a sustainable system supporting 105 battery electric buses, which is basically what our fixed route fleet total is today. These numbers, of course, may change a little bit here or there. We may end up increasing service over the next several years. So some of these numbers may actually increase, but this is kind of where we stand here today. And this is kind of what our goals for the microgrid system at our depot is going to look like. Now, what is the microgrid system? What exactly does this actually entail? What's going to entail solar canopies, a battery storage system, natural gas backup generators. The system will be tied to the grid. All of that will come into play as we build out our infrastructure. And like I said earlier, resiliency is going to be one of our big things that we focus on. Next slide, please. I wanted to give a quick shout out to our paratransit division. We recently just deployed 2 fully electric paratransit vans into revenue service within our paratransit division. And then the vehicles, they are Ford E-Transits equipped with 68 kilowatt-hour batteries. So we are excited to start to implement battery electric vehicles into our paratransit fleet as well. So wanted to give them a little shout out here. Next slide, please. And then one of the other projects that we're working on is we were recently awarded an MEA B100 grant, which is the Maryland Energy Administration. We received funding to support a pilot project where we're going to convert 6 35-foot diesel buses to run on full B100 biodiesel. So we're very excited about that. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be installing equipment onto 6 buses that are going to allow the buses to fully run on B100 after the buses have warmed up and reached operating temperature. Basically what they'll do is they'll start on normal diesel, but then once the bus reaches optimum temperature, it will convert to run on full B100 biodiesel. What we're going to be doing in terms of infrastructure, we're going to lease a B100 tank during the duration of the 12-month pilot. And then during the pilot, we'll be tracking KPIs such as fuel usage, greenhouse gas reduction, and then reliability, of course, is going to be a huge factor as well. And then as long as all of these items are met and we're seeing progress, then we will seek additional funding opportunities to further expand into our existing diesel fleet and start converting additional buses to run on B100. So we're very excited about this project as well. This project is going to be moving extremely quickly. We expect to have the equipment installed onto the buses and have the buses actually out on the street running on biodiesel probably by the summertime. So like I said, we're very excited about that. And those are the updates that I have. So I thank you very much.
Mr. Thompson?
Candidates who won't be of age. Maybe he went off.
Okay.
I have a question.
Say disqualifying someone.
Sure.
Yeah.
Are your arguments limited to section 3?
Sorry, do we have time for questions?
We will. We're gonna have Laurel go next as soon as I get, but you have a question for Jimmy?
Yes,
Diane, can you mute yourself, please?
Yeah, someone needs to mute, but we'll take questions at the end if that's okay. Let's see. So next up we'll have Laurel Mack-Wilson as soon as I get her slideshow pulled up. Mr. Thompson had another commitment, so thank you.
No, I'm right.
Oh, okay.
I'm right here. I'm right here. I'm going to
We
jump
got
off
you
in
adapted.
15 minutes. I'll
Okay,
jump off in 15 minutes or so, about
Okay.
10 minutes before.
Okay.
And while she's pulling that up, there is a Hill Day. There's a conference in DC next week. If you've not registered for it, it'd be great. It's the Transportation Energy Partners Conference, which will take place Monday through Wednesday. We'll be going on Capitol Hill as well to push for clean energy, clean transportation. There'll be some workshops too. So hopefully that. And I also want to thank Jimmy for all that good work. I love the microgrids. That looks amazing. And looking forward to your kickoff for the biodiesel project as well.
Give me one more second, Mr. Thompson.
Jill, you want me to share my screen?
Can you get it? Yeah.
While they're waiting, I also wanted to let some of the fleet managers know that are on. I know she couldn't be here, but Jill Hamilton, who is with SESI, she has some funding for grants with little or no investment from your fleet that can retrofit some diesel vehicles to biodiesel. So if you're interested, what I'll do is next month, I'll make sure she's on that session for next month's meeting so everyone can hear about these grants that she has for that as well. She can also wrap. They also Clean Fuels Alliance America has some money where they can wrap a vehicle as well for you. And we'll talk about that next week, but we'll go to Laurel so we can keep it moving because we only have 26 minutes because we like to end on time. Thanks.
All right, can you see my screen?
Yes,
Yes, can you put
Hit
it in
Okay.
present mode,
slideshow at
please?
the top. Yeah, put it on slideshow at the top. From the beginning. There you go.
Okay, awesome. Great, here we are. Good morning, everyone. As you heard before, my name is Laurel. I'm the Marketing and Outreach Coordinator for GWRCCC. And I just wanted to take a couple minutes to go through our electric vehicle programs. We have quite a few, and we want to make sure that everybody knows what we have going on. Next slide, please. So first and foremost, if you have not heard about the MAEP, I would like to introduce you to this program. This program is an opportunity for people to suggest locations for a level 2 electric vehicle charging station in their neighborhood. The focus is on underserved communities, but underserved can also mean that you just don't have a charger at all anywhere nearby, and we would be happy to work with you to try and get a charger close to you, because charging is going to have to be just as accessible as gas at some point. So we're really trying to boost up the infrastructure. These chargers are installed by Green Spot and Blink, and Antoine and I are currently in Frederick, Maryland, about to go to a press event for a new Blink charger that's opening up out here. So this could be you. If you have a location, please let us know. And the web link is down at the bottom there. Next slide. So our next program is the Empower Workplace Charging Program. This program is a pledge where you sign the pledge And you can sign the pledge whether you have workplace charging already or if you don't have workplace charging, and we can help you get wraparound services to make that workplace charging a reality. The pledge is not binding. You'd basically just say that you are committed to having workplace charging at some point in the future. And by signing that pledge, you'll receive a $250 incentive. And if you are interested in that program, you can also head over to our website and under programs and check out the more information about the Empower program. Next slide. So the Gumbo Workforce Development Initiative is a newer program that we just signed on to and started working on late last year. It stands for Guaranteeing Access to Underserved and Marginalized Populations by Building Employment Opportunities. And it addresses the need for skilled EV supply equipment installation and operations technicians, as well as supporting charging infrastructure by training residents in the DMV to install, maintain, and service EV charging equipment. We are currently looking for community colleges and community-based organizations to help us run and host this program, and you will receive some compensation for participating in this program. We really want to make sure that all people can benefit from the new economy that is going to emerge with all of these electric vehicles and electric vehicle chargers. And so we're looking to launch the Gumbo program as soon as possible. So if you are interested in participating, or you know someone who might be interested in participating, you can email me, or you can check out the webpage and see if it might be a good fit. Next slide. So we've been sending out a couple emails about this, but I did want to remind you all that we have built an EV resources list. This list is a web page on our website that includes general information and resources about electric vehicles, but it is also a list of all of GWRCCC's members and other stakeholders who work as in electric vehicles in some capacity or charging. So you could be an EV vendor, a charging vendor, a contractor, you could work in fleet management, charging installation, or be a consultant. There's multiple different categories, but that's just a really great resource if you're looking for someone to work with. And since there are members, we absolutely suggest them to you. Next slide. So last but not least, it is time for the annual report again. It happened so fast, it's already back, but I did want to remind you all that the GWRCCC annual report is sent to the U.S. Department of Energy, and it is for emission reducing technology implemented in DC, Maryland, and Northern Virginia. So if your organization worked to reduce emissions in any of the following categories over there on the right, we would love for you to join us in this report. Even if, you know, maybe you didn't necessarily do anything last year to add, you can still add everything that you've done in the last few years into this report. Basically, the report is showing the DOE that we are working to reduce emissions across the country, and we really want the DMV to be a leader. So if you have worked in reducing emissions in any of those categories, please let me know, and we will get you all set up to join in on the report. And that is all from me. Thank you very much. I am also going to jump off early. I'm going to jump off in about 5 minutes. So Antoine, is it okay if anyone has questions if they ask me now?
Sure, go ahead. Any questions
Any
for
questions?
Laurel? All right, hearing none, we'll call on, can we pull up Jeremy's slides? Hi, Jeremy, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning. How are you all doing? I actually do not have slides.
Oh, okay. Well, you
Is
can
my-
let it roll then.
Is my video showing? I'm not seeing myself.
Yeah,
but
we
maybe
can
I'm
see you. We
okay.
can see you. You
Great.
got your headphones on and all that good stuff.
That's how I do. So hi everyone, I'm Jeremy Strauss, District Department of Transportation, DDOT, reporting on what's been going on with our efforts for the DC circulator bus electrification program. We're still continuing to move forward with that program. We currently have 15 electric Proterra buses out of a fleet of 73. The remaining are clean diesel or hybrid diesel. Jimmy from Prince George's County was talking earlier about B100. We're still hoping to get a pilot going of B100 as well at DDOT on at least a couple of diesel buses rather for a period of probably several months. That's been sort of moving through the procurement pipeline currently. We had a procurement that was going on that's in the process for electric buses that's in the process of being canceled due to some changes at the OEM and restructuring. And I think our biggest project right now is adjusting some of our charging capacity at our South Capitol Street facility, which is in the Anacostia region, and our only facility that charges and stores our electric buses. We're looking at some long-awaited updates to our charging infrastructure there and working on a procurement. I can't name the manufacturer now, but we're working on a procurement for a charger manufacturer that uses battery-operated bus chargers. So the idea is that we'll be able to plug in. We have existing 50 kilowatt chargers, which are not quite meeting our need, and they've been failing for a pretty long time. So we're going to plug in these batteries to the existing electrical stubs and be able to achieve significant upgrades in charging speed and capacity without having to dig conduit, make breaker box updates, new wiring. It'll be a relatively low cost sort of infrastructure investments. We're very excited about that project and hope to get that going hopefully within the next 6 months and hope to see some of you out on site to take a look if you're interested. I'm happy to take any questions as well.
Any questions for Jeremy?
I do, Jeremy. Two quick questions for you. One is, can you give us any update on the
We lost you, Mr. Thompson.
Yeah, I think Antoine, you cut out.
Yeah.
Oh.
You're kind of fading in and out.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yeah, so I was just saying, can you give us any updates on the demonstration project for curbside?
I'm sorry, you
was
said
saying about
curbside charging? You're
yeah,
still cutting out.
Yeah, I was saying, you have any updates on your curbside charging program?
I don't currently. My unit is transit delivery, so I think you're probably referring to more of the NEVI program. I would direct folks. I can put the link in the chat, but the nevi.ddot.dc.gov website is a good resource for all things with our NEVI and sort of private vehicle infrastructure charging program.
All right, and I'm sure you're aware of the US DOT low-no grants applications are coming up. So if you all need a letter of support for those or anything you need us to do, I would strongly encourage you all to make sure not only you get a letter from us, but also get a letter from the Congresswoman for DC to put with your application if you all are applying, which I'm hoping you're applying.
Yeah, certainly considering it as we move forward, and we've been doing some demos of electric vehicles as well recently, so we're excited to see what comes next.
All right. Well, you give Carla our regards. I know she's with her mom, but you do have a couple questions. Samantha, you had your hand up.
Yes, thank you. Good morning, Jeremy and every other speaker. My question is both to Jeremy and Jimmy that are working on EV charging, deploying EV charging. So my name is Samantha. I'm with Charger Help. We repair charging stations for electric vehicles. And we also do workforce development. But my question is in regards to your plan for reliability on the charging infrastructure, how are you guys thinking about perhaps like rolling out maintenance on the charging infrastructure? Because from what we've seen in the past is that, you know, usually maintenance gets tied up to the initial application, sometimes it's left out. And we know that, you know, it just becomes very complex in the process when entities tie in maintenance to the installation project. Usually maintenance comes, you know, way after. But curious to know how you guys are tackling both of those issues, reliability and maintenance.
On chargers specifically, sure, yeah. We have an operations and maintenance contractor that actually manages our circulator service. I believe Prince George's County may have the same contractor. They are generally responsible for charger maintenance or contracting with a firm like an electrician that does charger maintenance. On the new project that we're working on for battery operated chargers, there are a few sort of service options that we can go with. I think that this vendor has a contract with maybe sort of a maintenance management company that has someone floating on site or floating in the area rather as needed. So that we like to expand our resources as necessary and always consider maintenance. I think a lot of charger OEMs though have told us that there's really minimal maintenance that should be done if they're operated, you know, properly, and there's sort of clearing coolant lines and things like that need to be done periodically. But other than that, if run properly and stored properly, there really shouldn't be a ton of maintenance that needs to happen over the life of the charger. I don't know if that goes with what everyone else is hearing.
I would respectfully disagree. 20% of the time, these things aren't working. And that's why the feds are putting so much money into trying to get some of them repaired. As I'm sure you're aware, DC just won a grant last month from the feds to fix up some of the chargers in DC. And congratulations on that effort. I would definitely strongly encourage you all to think about having additional supplemental services to maintain your chargers, to help with the uptime, to build trust and confidence in the system. So definitely would encourage you to do that.
Yeah, and Antoine, I'll just add that it's actually a little bit higher. 30% of the infrastructure could be inoperable at any time. We run studies, and also UC Berkeley and other studies have been published. And I'll add that also warranty is included into some of these charging stations, but warranty, as we know, as similar to our phones, it could only cover defective products. So where we come in is also through preventative maintenance and consistent maintenance, and also capturing that data on the fields. As we know, it's really important if you're applying for public funds.
All right.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Jeremy? Well, Jeremy, we're really excited about all the work that you all are doing. Anything that our office can do, we'd love to do that. I also want to follow up with you. I know Diane's on from our office. If we can schedule time for me to come by in March to do a little ride and tour with you guys. I know we talked about that last year, but if we can get that done this year, that'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely. Feel free to reach out.
All right, Diane, if you can reach out to Jeremy, that'd be greatly appreciated. We can do it sometime in March when it's a little warmer out.
Mr. Thompson, I think Samantha directed her question to Jimmy, and someone else had a question for Jimmy as well.
Jimmy?
Yeah, so I can kind of echo some of the things Jeremy was referring to. Charger maintenance is definitely one of our biggest challenges right now, I would say. I mean, to date, we've been relying pretty much completely on the OEM for repairs and maintenance on our chargers. And we've only got a few months, I think about 3 months left of our factory warranty left on our chargers. So we've had several discussions about, hopefully maybe utilizing a local vendor to, take over those repairs once the warranty period is over. we are going to be investing pretty heavily in workforce development with our FY22 Bus and Bus Facilities Award. It was actually a requirement that a certain percentage of that award went towards workforce development, which we plan to invest heavily in. But yeah, going back to your question, like I said, charger maintenance and repairs is definitely one of our biggest challenges right now, having only relying on the OEM. And as we stand today, we have 3 out of our 4 chargers that are actually currently down right now. So it's certainly been a challenge keeping the chargers up and running properly.
Thank you, Jimmy. Were there any more questions for Jimmy? Okay. Mr. Thompson, we also had a comment earlier from Emmanuel Wagner that says he had to run, but he wanted to make sure everyone is aware of Maryland's HB 64 by Delegate Jazz Lewis, which would expand the Maryland excise tax credit that's available for new EVs also to used electric vehicles, making purchasing EVs cheaper for people with low incomes. And there's a link in the chat as well. Okay, I don't know if Mr. Thompson has maybe fallen off. I just put the link that Emmanuel was speaking of back in the chat. Do we have any other questions or comments? Okay, well, with that being said, we're so grateful that you all decided to join us for today's stakeholder meeting. We encourage you to reach out to us or our staff if you have any questions or comments, or if you would like to be a future speaker on a stakeholders meeting. We definitely would appreciate your input on our 2023 GWRCCC annual report. And if you're interested in, working with us on any of our initiatives, of our many initiatives, we certainly invite you to do that. Thank you so much for joining us today. I believe our next stakeholders meeting is on March let's see. Diane, is it March the 12th or March the 14th will be our next stakeholders meeting. So we'll start promoting that here within the next week or so. Thank you so much for your time, and we're going to give everybody 6 minutes of time back. So have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.